Madara Uchiha is one of the most iconic characters in the anime and manga Naruto, created by Masashi Kishimoto. He was one of the founders of the Uchiha clan and co-founder of the Hidden Leaf Village, Kanagakure, along with Hashirama Senju. Madara was an extremely powerful warrior, wielder of the Sharingan and, later, the Rinnegan, which made him one of the most feared shinobi in history. From a young age, Madara stood out for his intelligence and strength, but he was also marked by numerous losses, especially from his brothers during the clan wars. This caused him to develop a pessimistic view of the world and begin to believe that true peace could only be achieved through absolute control. This thinking led him to constant confrontations with Hashirama and, later, to follow a path of manipulation and destruction in search of his own version of peace. The quest for power is one of the most recurring themes in the history of humanity. Since ancient times, we have seen kings, warriors, and rulers wanting more and more control and influence. In pop culture, this theme is very well represented by Madara Uchiha, one of the most iconic characters in the anime Naruto. His trajectory is a classic example of the danger that the unbridled search for power can bring. But what does the Bible teach us about this? Madara is a character who initially seeks peace for his clan, the Uchiha. However, his experiences of loss and suffering lead him to believe that the only way to achieve true peace is through absolute mastery. This leads him down a path of war, destruction, and manipulation, all in the name of a distorted ideal of order. Madara's quest for power makes him increasingly cold and distant from others. He starts to see people as pieces on a board and not as human beings with their own feelings and desires. In the end, he becomes a slave to his own desire, unable to see any other way to achieve his goals other than through force. The Bible shows us several stories that warn about the danger of the uncontrolled search for power. One of the most emblematic examples is the story of Lucifer. Created as one of the most beautiful and powerful angels, Lucifer desired more than his original position. He wanted to be equal to God, which led to his downfall. In Isaiah 14 verses 12 to 15 we read, "How you fell from heaven, O morning star, daughter of the morning, how you were cast down to the ground, you who weaken the nations. And you said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. However, you will be taken to hell, to the depths of the abyss." Isaiah 14 verses 12 to 15. This passage shows how uncontrolled ambition led Lucifer to destruction. Likewise, Madara believed he could become a kind of god who would bring peace to the world, but his obsession with power only caused pain and destruction. Another biblical example is King Saul. Chosen by God to rule Israel, he started out well, but gradually became consumed by the desire to maintain his power at any cost. He strayed from God's commandments, persecuted David unjustly, and, in the end, met a tragic fate. In 1 Samuel 15 verse 23 we read, "For rebelliousness is like the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is like iniquity and idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he also has rejected you from being king." The Bible constantly warns us that power, when misused, corrupts and moves people away from the truth. Jesus himself warned his disciples about this. "But it shall not be so among you. But whoever wishes to be great among you, let him be your servant. And whoever wishes to be first among you, let him be your servant." Matthew 20 verses 26 to 27. True power comes from God. The pursuit of human power often leads to ruin. But the Bible teaches that true power belongs to God and is given to those who serve him humbly. In Proverbs 16 verse 18 we read, "Pride goes before ruin, and a haughty spirit goes before a fall." Unlike Madara, who sought domination through his own ego, the Bible teaches that we should seek God above all else and trust that he will give us what we really need. When we place our desire for control and power above God's will, we become slaves to our own ambitions. Madara Uchiha is a great example of how the unbridled pursuit of power can lead to destruction. He believed he was seeking peace, but in reality, he was just feeding his thirst for control. The Bible warns us about this danger, showing that pride and excessive ambition can separate us from God and lead us to ruin. True strength is not in domination over others, but in humility and service to others. Jesus taught us that the greatest in the kingdom of heaven is the one who becomes a servant. May we learn from these examples and seek a humble heart, trusting God to guide us along the right path. How have you dealt with the desire for power and control in your life? Are you trusting God more or trying to do everything in your own strength? Reflect on this and seek the true peace that can only be found in the presence of God.